Okay, today we're going to speak about an incredibly important topic. This is probably one of the most important topics you can possibly imagine. Okay, the topic is marriage. Extremely important. Today, the state of marriage is not too good. Okay, the state of the union is really not a good situation. I would like to give you a few basic keys to make marriage much, much, much better. Okay, this is just something, obviously there's a lot to talk about in marriage, but this is a very good start. Now, first of all, the following. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. If things are good with your intimate relationship, which is your husband, with your spouse, then things are great. If things are not good with him, even if everything else is terrible, even if everything else is good, I would say, right, then life's not good, right? If everything's wonderful except for with him, life's not good. If everything's terrible, God forbid, but with him things are good, you can deal with anything. Very, very straightforward. It's extremely important. And you know today the problem is that our marriage is basically breaking apart. Okay, now, I want to give you a few fundamental ideas. Let's start with the following. There is a concept which is very important. It's hard for us to understand because we are already speaking English. When you speak English, the word that's very similar to the real concept confuses you. So for example, if you tell somebody you can't do work on Shabbos, right? You say, okay, we can't do work on Shabbos. That's not true. You're not allowed to do with something called malacha. Malacha is something that you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. Malacha, right? But work is different than malacha. They translate malacha as work, but it's not really the same thing. So on Shabbos, you're allowed, for example, technically speaking, to take your couch and put your couch on your back and walk up and down the stairs 1,000 times in your house, and you haven't been Mechal Shabbos, you haven't broken Shabbos, right? But if you take a feather and you walk out the front door of your house, in a lot of situations, you will be Mechal, it's called breaking Shabbos. It's nothing to do with work, it has to do with something called malacha. If you tell somebody you can't do malacha, they'll listen to you. If you tell somebody you can't do work, I already know what work is, and that's not work. They're not open to the idea. Marriage in the Western world is not what marriage really is. I used to say that the Western world's definition of marriage is different than the Torah's definition of marriage. My wife correctly pointed out, she corrected me, and she said, it's not really true. Their definition of marriage is actually anti-human. Forget about anti-Torah. It's anti-human. Why? I'll tell you why. Because what marriage really is, and I'll show you where it comes from in the Torah, what marriage really is the completion of a human being. There is no word in the Torah for human, for person. There's no word. They say the word in modern Hebrew is called in Ivrit, which is different than Lashon HaKodesh, which is the biblical Hebrew. It's different. There's no word in biblical Hebrew for person. Ben Adam is modern Hebrew. Ben Adam means person. The word Ben Adam is a phrase that means in the Torah, in the biblical language, it means a human as opposed to an angel. But it doesn't mean an individual person. There's no word for person. The word that's used for person is Adam. Aleph, Daled, Mem. Adam, yeah? Now this word Adam, if you look at it in the Chumash, in the Torah, it's when this word is used, it says Hashem called their name Adam. Adam and Eve together were called Adam. The term human describes a husband and wife. A husband is a half a human. A wife is a half a human. The first blessing they make under the chuppah when there's a marriage, they make all kinds of blessings. Besides, they make Borei Pri Hagaf and a blessing over the wine. But the first blessing that has to do with marriage, directly has to do with specifically with marriage, is Yotzer Ha'adam, the formation of an Adam, the formation of a human being. A human being, according to the definition of the Torah, is man and wife together, husband and wife. Husband and wife, man and woman together, husband and wife, that makes a human being. Otherwise, wife by herself, husband by himself, separately, half human beings. A human is together. Now, it's very, very important. Now, of course, they're not the same, right? They have to be something like, they say opposites attract. It's not opposites, they have to be complementary, and, the word that's used is polarity. There has to be Zachar, which is masculine, and the Keva, which is feminine. If there's masculine and feminine, then there can be attraction, everything's fine. You take two magnets, and there's positive, positive, negative, negative. You put them together, they'll repel. You have to have very similar, but complementary. Positive to negative and negative to positive. Electricity, the same thing. In the wall, electricity there's a positive flow, there's a negative flow. You have to have it, yes.
Are you a half a human when you're not married, like right now?
You're half, preparing yourself to get married, yes. That's right, half human. Getting ready. And even if you have a great person, a tremendous person, who knows how great she is. And she's married for a long time, then her husband dies, she returns to the status of half human. It doesn't mean she's inhuman. I don't mean to say that. The words in English are, they sound a terrible way. It doesn't mean the same thing. She's half human. Of course not half human. She's not a mutant. It doesn't mean that. But it means that every person, the completion of a human being is husband and wife. So let's back up. Okay, now. The relationship between husband and wife, very, very important. This is critically important. Okay, I am very used to using certain terms, so I'm going to just translate them now because I'm going to probably keep using the term throughout the rest of this class. So I'll just tell you what it is, yeah? The term for a bride is a kala. The kala is the bride, yeah? The term for the groom is the chatan, the chosen, yeah? Sorry, my Ashkenazi pronunciation, yeah? The chosen. So there's a chosen and the kala. The chosen is the groom and the kala is the bride. Now, in a relationship between husband and wife, in order for there to be success, there has to be always coming back to chosen and kala. Bride, groom and bride. Has to come back to that relationship. There's other flavors of that relationship. There's other flavors that the relationship goes through, other modes that the marriage goes through. But it has to keep coming back to chosen and kala. So let's do this, right? You have, we'll write it in English, right? Chosen or chatan, right? And you have kala. Kala. Yeah, like that. Okay, now, that's the core. Sometimes the relationship is not in that mode. Sometimes the relationship is temporarily in a mode of brother and sister. What does that mean? You see, this relationship of chatan and kala, of chosen and kala, is polarity. There has to be some kind of electricity there. Yeah? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Like the chosen loves the kala loves the chosen. There's that, like the honeymoon period. Yeah? Now, sometimes it happens that the chosen is not in that mode. And the kala is not in that mode. He's feeling like a brother, and she's feeling like a sister. That's okay, it's normal, it happens now and then.
To each other?
To each other. In a healthy way.
Before they get married?
It can happen before, I'm talking about, well, let's say they're married already. Now they're already married, right? Even when they're married, it can happen that way. It means that the difference between this relationship and this one is the following. This one, the chosen loves his kala, and what he really wants, listen to this really important idea. What the man wants more than anything else and what the woman wants more than anything else are different. If you want to be happy, you have to know what does your husband really want as a chosen, as a husband. And what is the kala, what do you really want as a kala, as a bride, as the wife? Okay? Of course you want things, but this is fundamentally built into what is a man and what is a woman. It's assuming there are differences, definitely assuming major differences, okay? Now, what he wants the most is, let's start with you. What do you want the most? Now, again, I'm speaking in very general terms. This is female energy. What female energy wants the most is they want to be understood and loved. Understood, like fully, he gets me. He gets me, he knows me, and he loves me who I am. He loves me as I am. He loves me, totally understands me, totally loves me. Yeah? That's what she wants. He doesn't want that. Of course he wants to be loved and understood, but that's not his main desire. What he wants is, he wants to reach his wife. He wants to give her happiness, make her feel good, to the extent that she responds to him.
He wants to be respected.
I would say even more than respect. He wants respect, but the core, the emotional thing that he really wants more than respect is he wants to be able to reach you, that he loves you and makes you happy, and you respond to him. He sees that he can make you happy. He sees he can take care of you. If he tries to reach you and he doesn't, that hurts him. Yeah? If you feel like you want him to see you and understand you, and he doesn't see you or he doesn't understand you, it hurts you. That's what you want. You want to be loved and understood. Yeah? Good. Now, the difference between these two relationships is the following. The chosen wants to reach the kala. He gives to her and he wants to reach her in a way that she then responds back to him. Yeah? He's giving so that it's making her happy, giving her love and seeing her, understanding her in a way that she's going to respond. Oh yeah, I see why I'm reaching her. That's what he wants. Yeah? This relationship between brother and sister is different. They can both give to each other, but there is no need, desire, or nor should there be, for either one to affect each other. Not trying to affect her. The sister's giving to her brother because he needs something. I'll help him out. I'll give him a ride. I'll give him some food. I'll help him out, right? Same way the brother helps the sister. There's plenty of love there, but there's no polarity. There's not positive. There's no, obviously, there shouldn't be, right? Obviously, right? There's no chemistry there. So there's tons of love without chemistry. Sometimes the relationship shifts from chassan and kala temporarily to being tons of love, no polarity. There's no passion. There's no chemistry there. That's okay, as long as it doesn't stay there. Okay, we're going to talk about this now. There are two other ways that it can also get out of polarity. It's very important. Out of that chassan kala relationship. Sometimes it happens that you're feeling small, scared, nervous, overwhelmed. Yeah?
Father, daughter.
Bingo. You're feeling very small. You're feeling like a little girl. Daughter, father. Now, this is a little strange, right? The father loves his daughter. He gives her what she needs. Much more active than brother or sister. But again, the same thing, it's unconditional love. He doesn't expect to receive anything back from his daughter. He's giving his daughter because he wants to give her what she needs. But she doesn't have to respond to him. So sometimes it happens that the wife is feeling scared, overwhelmed, nervous, whatever, and he is taking care of her. That's totally normal. Works the other way also. You're going to see it in a second, right? Works the other way too, right? But we're going to get to that. I'll give you an example. Right after she gives birth, she's in a motherly mode to the baby, right? But he's very much taking care of her. He's just giving whatever you need, I'm here to give to you. Like, I'm not expecting anything back from you. I'm just trying to give to you whatever you need. That's a fatherly type of love. In a certain sense, it's like father and daughter, in a certain sense. Okay? Now, the same thing works on the other side, right? It happens sometimes that he is feeling small and not enough. He's feeling scared, overwhelmed, and nervous, and who knows whatever, like a little boy. So now, he is like the little boy, like the son, and she's like the mother. And she's giving unconditionally to him. Now again, she's giving to him without any expectation whatsoever of receiving back. Does that make sense?
Or maybe the son is not capable of returning.
Sure, in the same way that the
The
daughter's not capable, right? She's not expecting, and she's not expecting it either because that's not the purpose. I'm not expecting my son to give me this and this, my daughter to give me this and this. I'm expecting that's what she needs, that's what he needs. I give them what they need. That's what the parental love is, unconditional, without the expectations of return. Now, let's back up a little bit. Let's go back to chassan and kala. I'm going to give you a scenario. This is amazing. This happens all the time. When you first get married, when you first get engaged, everything's wonderful, right? You first get married, everything's wonderful. There's that honeymoon period. Everything's like up there, right? And then things drop off a little bit, okay? Now, when things drop off, that's a big test. That's when it gets real. That's when you have to really start to think, okay, how am I going to make this marriage work in a real good way? That's when you're building. It's not just a freebie from on high. You know what I'm saying? Now you start building your marriage. Now listen to this. Here's a scenario. You're sitting in your house. You're married like 2 or 3 months. The honeymoon just stopped. Yeah, whatever that is. 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, right? And now you're sitting there. You're reading. Everything's fine. He decides he wants to reach you. He's going to reach you. He wants to interact with you. So he makes an attempt to reach you, but it's a stupid attempt. Yeah? Which happens all the time. What I'm telling you is so important. It's a stupid attempt. Yeah? So let's say I'm exaggerating because I just want to make it nice and clear, right? I'm totally exaggerating. He's not going to be this stupid, right? He goes up to you and says, "Hi." Now, you'll probably laugh, right? But let's say he's actually serious, which he won't be, of course, right? But let's say he does that, like, "Hi there." Yeah? Now, in the honeymoon period, his "hi there" was totally fine, and it reached you like, "Hi." Of course, you're not doing that way, but you get the idea. He reaches you, right? Now he says hello, and you're like, "Hello." You're open, everything's fine, yeah. So he says, "Wait a second. What I did before used to reach her. Now it's not reaching her. Something's wrong." So he feels hit. He feels attacked. Now you're not attacking him. He says hello, and you say hello. What kind of attack is that, right? "This is my husband? What are you talking about," right? I'm telling you, it's almost universal. It's almost universal. Listen to this, right? Up till this point, when he said hello to you, you responded. Now you're not responding. Something must be wrong. No, nothing's wrong. The honeymoon's over. Now it's back to normal reality. That's okay. Nothing wrong at all. It's totally normal. Listen to this. He doesn't just feel like you're hitting him a little bit. He feels like you hit him inside his heart. What? He says hello, I say hello, I hit him in his heart. What are you talking about? Listen to this. Amazing. Up till now, anytime somebody hits your husband, it's from the outside. He gets hit on the outside. What are his options when someone hits him? Okay, he can push it off, ignore it. What else can he do? Someone hits him in a real way. Someone comes up and gives him a punch. What are his options? Fight back or? Defend or? Defend means what? What does he usually do when he fights? Instead of fighting back?
Or run away.
Run away. Fight or flight, right? Run away. Yeah? Either hit back or run away. That's the options usually. Now, he thinks you're hitting him now. His natural reaction is going to be to either fight back or run away. He's either going to get a little bit hostile. Look, what's the matter? What's going on? Like, how come you're not, why are you so grumpy? Or he's going to be, all you said was hello. Yeah, you said hello, he said hello, you said, that's all. Like, what is going on, right? Or he's going to withdraw emotionally. He may physically disappear for an hour or so. You'll see him 2 hours later. Or, like, where was he? What happened? Yeah, I said hello, he says hello, it's over, right? What's going on, right? Or emotionally he withdraws. Now, what's going on here? You see why this is important, by the way? You're like a little bit nervous. You should be. It's good. It's good to be a little bit nervous about this beforehand so you can know what's going to happen, right? Now, I'm talking about a good guy. You're married to a good guy. He's a wonderful husband. He's sensitive. He's caring. He loves you. He cares about you. All of a sudden, like, what's going on? And he doesn't know what's going on either. That's why someone's got to be more intelligent around here. Yeah? And it's going to be you. Now, this is an amazing thing. Up till now, when someone hits him, it's always on the outside. This hit is on the inside of his heart. I once went someplace, it was a big simcha, and they had like 8-foot-high speakers. And they're playing music very loud. We were all dancing, right? So the music was so strong, the bass was so strong, you could feel the blood in your heart vibrating to the beat of the music. Now, that was like, oh no, get out of here. Yeah, when your heart wants to beat and it's beating to a different beat, that's a scary feeling. Yeah, it's really intense. Why is that? So because you become one person when you get married, you're emotionally connected now. You're literally inside his heart now. He doesn't realize that. Yeah, we're one person. When you get married, you become one. Like, it's actually true. Yotzer ha'adam, the formation of a human being, you become one person. You're emotionally connected now. So the first time in his life, and not only that, he wants you to be happy, and he's kind of responsible for that a little bit, right? He wants to reach you, and he's not being able to reach you. So now he feels like someone hit him in the heart. Now listen to this. You have a big advantage over your husband. Imagine this. You are 6 or 7 years old. And you have a best friend. And you do everything together. And then one day you come to school, you want to tell her this, you want to tell her that, and all of a sudden she says to you, we're not friends anymore. How do you feel? Hurt. Rejected. Does it matter to you? Sad. Ask a boy 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14. He's got a best friend. His best friend says, we're not friends anymore. You know what he's going to say? Okay, give me back my trucks and my cars and I'll be friends with him. It's like, now, I'm not saying that all boys are like this. I'm not saying all good, but generally speaking, the relationships that boys have are not inside their hearts. Girls are not like that. Again, generally, some girls are, like I'm saying, generally speaking. I'm speaking very, very general terms. Okay, this is the core feminine, the core masculine energy. Okay? There are men that are very feminine, there are women that are very masculine. I'm saying generally speaking, that is the general default. That's where you start. Okay? Of course, it's not like this for everybody. Now, so this is really interesting now. He doesn't have any of that. He's never had a hit inside of his heart until now when he's married. You started when you're 5, 6, 7 years old. Anytime you got a hit inside of your heart because you got some emotional hit like that, you had pain and you learned how to deal with it. You got stronger. You had practice. He has 0 practice in this area. You tell me, wait a second, he never cries, he never has emotions. Of course he has emotions, but never inside the heart, not a relationship. You see, boys, what they have is, they have bonding, boys bond. Bonding is you do physical activities together in proximity. You spend time doing things together. What women do from a young age is they have emotional intimacy. Now, one definition of emotional intimacy is you're mutually vulnerable. Mutual vulnerability is emotional intimacy. You're both open. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Guys, talk to them about it like,
You don't think guys have like really like emotionally intimate relationships with each other? Like good friends, not just like acquaintances.
They care about each other. They can care about each other a lot, but it's on the outside. You can get hurt because your best friend of so many years is not friends with you anymore. It definitely can happen, but it's not the same way as what happens with women. It's not the same thing. It's not on the inside. I'll give you an example. My wife says to me, please call up the next door neighbor, ask her if she has a pair of scissors. Scissors. Call her up, you have scissors? Yes, no, bye, thank you, right? 9 seconds, 8 seconds off the phone. I asked her, why don't you call? 15-minute conversation. Why? Because when she gets on the phone, my wife's interested in the next door neighbor's emotional situation. What's going on with you? How's your daughter fell down last week and hurt her toe? How's her toe doing? Like, they have that upcoming wedding. You worried about money? Yeah. How's that squeaky window? Whatever it is. It's something like, my wife feels the reality. Women feel each other's, guys, they don't feel each other's reality. They can. It's very difficult. They have to learn how to do that, but it's not natural. Women naturally feel each other's reality. Again, I'm speaking in very general terms. Okay? There are women not like this. There are men that are yes like this, as they say, but that's the general idea. Now, you get married, you share the emotion, you're inside his heart now, and the first time he gets this hit on the inside, he's never felt anything like this in his life. He's now more in danger. It's the worst hit he's ever had. Again, all you said was hello. He said hello, you said hello, that's it, right? It's like, why is he responding? So he tends to overreact in the eyes of the wife. It's like, what's the matter? What's wrong with you, right? Because he's surprised himself. Or he withdraws. What would you like him to do instead of withdrawing or being hostile? Talk about it. Please, let's talk about it. Tell me your emotions. Now, here's another scenario I want you to picture. This is why it doesn't work for him so easily. He's 7, 8 years old, he's in school, and a boy 2 or 3 years older than him comes up and pushes him and says, give me your money. Starts bullying him. Again, his choices are fight or flight. Fight back or run away. Should he say, I just want to tell you that I'm feeling really scared and overwhelmed right now? Should he do that?
No.
No. He should not share his feelings, because what happens if he does that? Perceived as weak, and he's going to get much worse than it is. He's really going to be on the floor without any money. Right? He's finished. Yeah? So a man is taught, generally speaking, that execution is everything. Getting the job done. I don't care about your feelings. A friend of mine just told me recently, he was reading something about the Navy SEALs. A Navy SEAL was having a hard time. They're like, he's doing push-ups and he just couldn't do more. He's exhausted what he's doing, right? He's trying as much as he can. They're kicking sand in his face. Come on, do it, do it. He's like, I'm trying. He says, try? He says, this world, we don't care about try. You don't try to protect your fellow soldiers in the battle. You don't try to blow out that door. You don't try to shoot straight. You do or you don't. Yeah, in that world, that's what you have to do, is execution. It's not intentions. In marriage, it's not like that. But he doesn't realize that. It takes him a while to realize that. So he'd like to share his feelings, but it's hard for him to do it, because in most cases, when he's vulnerable and he shares his feelings, it makes him more weak, as you said. Right? In this case of marriage, it actually makes him stronger. But he doesn't realize that. But that's the boys' class, not the girls' class. Now, what will be your reaction if you don't know all this stuff? He says hi. You say hi, all of a sudden he's hostile or he's withdrawing. What would be your reaction? If he gets hostile, what would you naturally do if you don't think about it?
Get upset.
Get upset. He's being a little nasty to me, I'll be a little nasty back. Right? If you do that to him, it tends to escalate. That's not good. Right? What else would you do if you wouldn't be nasty, what else would you do if he gets a little bit nasty? What would you do?
Just ask him like, what's his problem?
Yeah, okay, that could be that. Yeah, ask what's his problem. Could be communication. What's a negative thing that you could do? It's really not the best thing. Instead of being hostile, besides hostile, what else would you do? Passive could be withdraw. When you get hurt, you put yourself out there, and like you get hurt, then like. Now I'm not saying you're scared. It could be you do it with it could be like this. It could be power also, but you tend to pull away from things that hurt you. Something that hurts you, move back from it. Yeah. So this is very important. If you do either one of those things, it makes it worse. I'll tell you why. If you get hostile, he gets hostile, it gets worse and worse, big argument, you don't want that. Right? That's obvious. If you withdraw, let's talk about this. You're on this level. Everything's fine, it's ground level. And he's on this level, he's trying to reach you. And he comes up with some poor attempt to reach you. He picks 2 dandelions off the front lawn, he says, here, I got this for you. Like, huh? You're not reaching me emotionally, right? If he says it nice, he gets down on one knee, says, I wish I could ask you to marry me again, and like you're the most, that's a different thing. But he doesn't reach you like that. He reaches you in, he doesn't reach you at all. He falls short of where he's got to be, right? And then you withdraw, you go further up the mountain. Now the next time when he calms down, he tries to reach you again, he tries better. Instead of trying down here, he tries up here, but now you're further up. Now it's harder for him to reach you. It's harder for him to reach you. So if you can avoid either one of those reactions, you're much better off.
So what do you do?
So what you do is you have to understand he's not being bad. He's not being mean. He's just being an underdeveloped boy. That's okay. That's okay.
So how do you deal with it?
His hostility.
It explains
It
us.
doesn't
It doesn't justify it. I'm not justifying it. It doesn't justify it. But what you're doing is you're assuming good intentions and you're assuming ignorance. That's different than he knows better and he's still doing it. The first time he's getting a hit on the outside, it's hard for him. He gets a hit on the outside, a big hit, it's very hard. Fight or flight, fight or flight. He's trained for that. And now all of a sudden getting hit on the inside, really fight and really run away. Like he doesn't know what to do. Talking is not an option. I mean, of course it is. But most guys are not emotionally developed enough to be able to talk about it. They will get that way. Bezos Hashem, God willing, they'll help, they'll get there. And you have to have patience, they'll get there. But literally speaking, since you practiced since the age of 6 or 7, and now you're 20, you've had 14 years to practice, plus. Yeah? And he's had literally 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 days, or 2 hours to practice. He's never had this before. He doesn't know what it is. Of course he cares about his sisters and his mother, he cares about his brothers and his father, he cares about everybody. He has his friends, but not the same way, not on the inside. So you have the patience with him. You're like, oh, he's just being a boy. It's okay. It's not going to stay there. It can't stay there. Now, there's another way you can. There's things you can do instead of staying. Try to stay open. It's going to get better. Okay, he doesn't know what he's doing. Assume good intentions. He doesn't know. He's ignorant. He doesn't know. Right? Try not to withdraw. What's the worst thing that happens? What's the worst thing? He'll figure it out. He'll apologize. You know, you did just get married, so like things are pretty good, as God willing, right? Yeah. Now, you can sometimes give him a freebie. You can act like you can't do this all the time, but now and then you can throw him a bone. Yeah, here, boy. Yeah, you throw him a bone and tell him like, okay, you can act like he reached you even though he didn't reach you. You can't do it all the time. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to him. But now and then you can do it. I'll tell you why. If you try with your girlfriends to fake your emotions, they can usually tell. Your husband, I don't know about that. Yeah, at least at the beginning, he won't be able to tell if you're faking your emotions. So if you act all excited, good chance he won't actually be able to figure it out. He can't fool you, but you can fool him at the beginning. Yeah? So you can throw him a freebie now and then. Yeah, oh, I'm so high. Yeah? You give him a nice high, whatever. I'm being exaggerating, of course. You get the idea. Now, why would you want to do that? Because sometimes if you do that, he feels stronger now, and he actually will reach you. He actually will reach you if you do that. Sometimes. You can't do it all the time. It's not fair, it's not honest, it's not fair to you, it's not fair to him. But now and then you can do it. The other thing you can do, and this is very important, is look at this. Remember we said before that sometimes he's feeling like a little boy, right? So you're like his mother and you're like the son. I'm saying the other way. You're like his mother, he's like the son. Yeah? So you're giving to him in an unconditional, loving way. There's no polarity there, there's no attraction there, obviously. You're just giving to him because he feels small. This is an amazing thing I'm going to tell you now. There are 2 big fears that everyone has. Everyone has the deepest fear that people have. The first fear is that I'm not enough. I'm not enough. No matter what, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not intelligent enough, I'm not friendly enough, I'm not good enough, I don't work hard enough, I don't have enough resource enough, rich enough, whatever you want, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Yeah? Very, very common if he's out there in the world, which everyone is really these days, to feel like from his boss, from his friends, from the environment that he's not enough. He's not doing it, it's just not cutting it, right? That puts him into little boy mode if he's not careful. Comes home as a little boy. Now, if you're willing, and he's willing, which is a much bigger idea, which is a much bigger novelty than you being willing, if he's willing to receive motherly love from you, you nurture him at that moment, it heals him. And it can switch him from being the son, the little boy, back to being the chassan, being your man again. It can happen in seconds. In seconds it can happen.
Can you give an example?
Yeah. I'll give you a very personal example. It's going to kill me. It's on video. Yeah, it's a very personal example. I was supposed to take my wife out for dinner. It happened a few years ago. I was feeling very much not enough in all kinds of ways. I was feeling physically down, I was a little under the weather, and I was all kinds of issues going on at one time, right? So I was supposed to take her out for dinner. Great, we're all excited about going, and I was clearly in little boy mode. She could tell, and I knew it. I was trying to do everything I can. It was clearly not going, right? So at a certain point, it's not really, you can go out with your little boy if you want, take him out for ice cream, but it's not the same thing as your husband taking you out to dinner. It's not the same thing, right? So she says to me at a certain point, very wise words. She said to me, what would you like me to say or do right now? She said that to me. Now, what was I? So that was a good question. Yeah, someone's getting more intelligent around here. My wife is certainly being the more intelligent, mature one. It's not the first time, won't be the last time, right? Anyway, so she said, so I thought, well, that's a good question. That already made me feel a little more comfortable, right? Yeah. So I said to her, I'd like you to say, this is totally embarrassing, but I'm telling you anyway, right? I'd like you to say, it's okay. It's okay. That is total little boy mommy mode. Yeah? Now, I thought to myself, how effective could it be? I'm feeding her the lines to tell me. How effective could it be? It's not going to work. But she said it in a real way. She said it with lave, with heart. It's okay. It's okay. Which basically means like, I love you anyway, no matter, even if you act like a little boy. That's motherly love, right? As soon as she said that, and she meant it, instantly flipped back to being the chassan. Instantly. I couldn't believe it. Yeah? Because here's a great phrase, not my phrase, I didn't make this up, yeah? Heal the boy and the man will appear. Heal the boy and the man will appear. That's 100% true. If you heal the boy, quickly the man appears. One of these days, if I have a chance to write a book, one of my books is going to be The Millimeter War. The Millimeter War. Very often you're in a situation where you think the situation's impossible. I tried this, I tried that, I tried everything. I spoke to people, different approaches, different angles. Nothing's working. It's a black wall of barrier that I can't get through. It's over, I failed. No. Sometimes a little millimeter change can totally flip the situation on its head. A small difference. When it comes to marriage, that's exactly what it is. Because we're talking about emotional states, you can quickly switch from being the boy to being the chassan. The same thing works with you. Sometimes you're feeling scared, you're a little girl, you're feeling like a daughter, and he's fatherly to you. He can heal the girl and the woman will appear. Same exact thing. Yes?
You said that we have like two main fears. So number one is not enough, and what's number two?
The first fear is I'm not enough. The second fear is because I'm not enough, I won't get love. That's exactly the story I told you with my wife. I felt like I wasn't enough. I'm not going to get love. I wasn't getting love because I wasn't acting like the chassan, obviously, right? There wasn't that. I was giving, but I don't want to be married to my mommy. I want to be married to my wife, right? She said it's okay, which means you're enough. I felt like it was enough. Boom, the other fear disappears. It's amazing. You both have to be willing to do that, but don't be afraid of it. Now, I would make a little bit of a suggestion. I don't know if this is true. Seems to me this is the case. Even the strongest warriors out there need their wives to sometimes be motherly. I remember seeing some recent clip of a Superman movie, yeah, where Superman kills the bad guy. But he didn't want to kill the bad guy. He just wanted to put the bad guy someplace else, but he didn't want to kill him. But yeah, eventually he realized if I don't kill the bad guy, he's going to kill other people, so he kills the bad guy. And then Superman, big, strong Superman, falls down to his knees. Exhausted and emotionally exhausted, obviously, right? And Lois Lane comes out and gives him a hug. Yeah? Superman on his knees, Lois Lane is taller than him, even though he's a pretty big, tall guy. So that's a motherly thing. She's giving him a motherly hug. Yeah? Now Superman's a manly man. If he's not, nobody is, right? He's a manly man. But even a manly man now and then needs a little bit of nurturing from his wife. It's totally normal. And the truth is, listen to this. This is the other big thing I want to tell you in this class. This truth is very, very important, yeah? When the Torah describes the reason that God separated the original human was man and wife together. And he separated them. Why did he make a separation? So the Torah describes because if you separate them, the woman can be an ezer kenegdoi. Ezer kenegdo. Let's write that word. The main thing is the ezer. You know what kenegdo is, it's something, but ezer kenegdo. Should be an ezer for him. Kenegdo just means opposite him. The word ezer is incorrectly translated into English. All the time it's incorrectly translated. You speak Hebrew a little bit? Yeah? What does the word ezer mean? Help. So an ezer is a helper. This is not what it means. This is wrong. This is how it's translated, but it's wrong. Yeah? Let's say you have this amazing, powerful woman that helped the whole Jewish people and all kinds of things and changed the world, right? And when she dies, people are speaking about her. She was amazing like this. Would you say she was a really big helper? Yeah? Like, does anybody want to be a helper? When I grow up, I want to be a big helper. Does it excite you, that term? That's power. Yeah, it's not what it means. The word ezer comes from the word oz. This word oz means power. It means power. She's his power source. Fill up a room of 1,000 men. Ask them. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to blurt out the answer all at once without any, just blurt out the answer. First thing comes to your mind, yeah? How do you feel when your wife's not happy with you? Everyone says, garbage! They all say the same thing. They all feel like garbage. Dead inside, absolute garbage. Wife's not happy with me? Yeah? Garbage. Doesn't make a difference what's going on the rest of it. It could be the wealthiest, most successful, giving, loving, caring people. Not husband and wife, not good, yeah? She's the energy source. She's the heart and lungs. She gives O's, power. That's not a small thing. He has no power otherwise. No power. He's empty outside. Now you could say there are people that accomplish a lot in the world without relationships, right? Imagine what they would accomplish if they had an actual good relationship. You have no idea. They're literally shadows of themselves. So it's not a strange thing that he's in this situation where she's nurturing him sometimes. It's not a strange thing. You just have to look at it as not a strange thing. And it's not strange because it can flip in a second. The same way the other way around. Sometimes she's feeling small and he's nurturing her. Totally fine. And then she'll switch back. Now, one last thing very important. Sometimes it happens that there's a problem here, there's no polarity, not because he's doing something wrong, because she's in a different mode. She's in a masculine mode. Now, when I say masculine and feminine, I'm not talking about abilities of women and men. I'm talking about a general mode to be in. I'm speaking in very general terms, yeah? A general term of masculine is someone like, is explosive in new ideas. Again, this could be, women can do this also. It's a masculine idea. Explosive in new ideas, but can't carry it out, yeah? When it comes to having a child, the man is the initial start, but the woman takes that and builds it into a baby, yeah? He's the initial inspiration, and he's like, all kinds of possibilities. A man can have many children, yeah? A woman takes one child, 9 months later, she has a baby. Now, in order for there to be proper polarity, he's got to be in masculine mode and she's got to be in feminine mode. If he's feeling masculine and she's feeling masculine, there'll be no polarity.
If he's feeling nekava and she's feeling
feminine, right. There can be polarity if he's feeling feminine and she's feeling masculine. That can happen. It can happen. It's usually against the grain of what a man is and what a woman is, but it can happen. It can be that way. Yeah? It can be, but it's not usually the default mode. Now, let's say he's feeling very masculine. Why should she feel masculine? Maybe she's got a business. She's the head, she's the CEO of a company. She's making things happen, blah, blah, right? Or she's running a school, or whatever. She's running her own house. She's like, okay, you do this, sit down over here. Thank God we have 11 children. My wife and I have 11 kids, yeah? My wife is running that house like a ship. Has to be that way, yeah? The 21-year-old in the house yesterday, and the 4-month-old in the house yesterday. There's a lot of action going on. And everybody in between, all the personalities, all things going on, right? She's like, do this, that's a masculine mode. You could say it's a feminine mode also. It's the masculine within the feminine of like being a mother. Okay, it is, but it's a certain aspect of like the mover and the shaker. It's not a receiver. The Akiva takes the idea and builds it into something. Yeah. So if she's in a masculine mode, even if he's being the perfect husband, she won't receive it that way. Or if she's totally open and loving and perfect kala, she's the feminine mode, and he's also feeling feminine because he got it over the head the whole day from the boss and who knows where else. So there's not going to be polarity. So if you want to be successful in marriage, you have to learn as a wife how to make yourself feminine. And he's got to learn as a husband how to make himself masculine. For a man, it could be a number of things. It depends on him, his personality, what he's like. Sometimes it's exercise. Sometimes it's business, sometimes who knows, mowing the lawn, whatever it is, sometimes it's learning or davening or who knows, whatever he's doing, could be painting, fixing up that, whatever he wants. Yeah? A woman, I asked my wife, how does a woman make herself feel feminine? So she said, I'll tell you the classic things. Everybody knows this, right? I have no sisters, so I'm learning this now, yeah? Right? Personal care, including bathing or like shopping for yourself, all that type of stuff, right? Could be it's eating, candles. Again, I'm telling you very classic things. Everyone's different, of course. I'm just giving you like the basic idea, right? Right?
Okay, but like what if someone is like naturally more masculine?
Okay, so you have certain women that are naturally more masculine. I've noticed in my experience, my limited experience, There's someone I know very well, actually, he's an old student of mine, that got married about a year or so ago, and he's a very feminine guy. And he married a masculine woman. And that's fine. Works great, yeah? Or if a woman is very masculine, she needs to have a super masculine man. And that will flip her into feminine.
But why does it need to be flipped into feminine? Why can't she just be her?
She could be herself. She could definitely be herself and be, but they're even biologically speaking, the very fact that like she's a woman and she's gonna eventually have a baby. That is a very feminine type of thing, obviously, right? By definition, it's feminine, right? It's so she can't, there's definitely gonna be modes she's gonna be, by definition, she's gonna be feminine. So that means by definition, he needs to be masculine. So it has to be able to flip, but it's possible to have the other way around, sure. Certainly it's possible.
No, but I mean, like, obviously she's like anatomically feminine if she's a woman.
Right.
But like if her personality is more on the masculine side,
it could be.
why does it like...
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It could be. If that works for that particular couple, that's fantastic. Can be. Yeah. There's nothing essential about it has to be that otherwise. Just that's usually what happens. But yeah, 100%. Okay? There's more to talk about, but we'll stop. Question? No? Okay, all the best.